Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Hoist the Colors on this Monday, April 29th edition of the show. Exciting show ahead. We are going to visit with East Carolina head coach Cliff Godwin. It is our weekly visit with Patrick Johnson and I. We interviewed him this morning at 10 a.m. We'll play that. And we'll also visit with Carter Cunningham, ECU first baseman, in studio. Pirates coming off a 4-0 week. They have won 8 in a row, so this will, as always, be a baseball-heavy show. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X. If you got a question, let us know. Stephen Igo here. Philip Pilkington is off with some family obligations, so we have a special producer. He is none other than Seth Rogers. Wait a minute. Scott Rogers, right?
That's correct.
Scott Rogers, who was introduced as Seth Rogers, ECU play-by-play voice in Memphis. How was your trip to Memphis?
It was good. It was an interesting one. Memphis is a interesting town. We saw some interesting things, but the biggest thing was East Carolina got the sweep over Memphis this weekend.
No doubt, and we'll get into a little bit of that again. Big storyline of the week was the pitching injuries or unavailability of a few guys, namely Zach Root and also Wyatt Lunsford. Shinkman. Pirates go 4-0 without those two pitching this week, and then Jake Hunter leaving Sunday's game with an apparent injury. Doesn't look too great, but we'll wait for official word. We asked Cliff Godwin about that. We'll play that again in this interview coming up. But Scott, for ECU to go 4-0 without two of their better arms, I think says a lot about where this team is right now.
It does. You had guys step up like Chris Kaler, he was phenomenal yesterday to get that sweep in Game 3. But you look at guys, too. I thought one that really might not go mentioned, but Eric Ritchie, I thought, was good coming in and getting some key outs to finish some innings, especially yesterday when Jake Hunter's injury happened. He came in, I believe it was Game 2 as well, to get an out in that game. And so you look at small pieces like that I thought were big. And then, of course, what Trey Savage did on Friday night was unbelievable. And the job he's done this year has just been awesome. And clearly he's going to be a legit Golden Spikes Award watch list member here at the end of the year.
No doubt. Trey Savage continues to just be outstanding for the Pirates. And ECU up to number 5 in the D1 baseball poll after a 4-0 week. The Pirates, Tennessee, UC Irvine, and I think Oklahoma State were the only top 25 teams to go 4-0. So the Pirates continue to rise up the poll. It's their highest ranking of the season. Texas A&M 1, Arkansas 2, Tennessee 3, Clemson 4, ECU 5, Oregon State 6, and then Florida State, Kentucky, Irvine, and Duke round out the top 10. So, I had my reservations, Scooter, about East Carolina getting, I don't want to say the praise, maybe the respect of the pollsters to go into the top 5. Look, D1 Baseball does a great job, but I was hesitant if they would actually put ECU in the top 5. I thought they might have Florida State jump the Pirates or leave Kentucky up there. But a little surprised to see Oregon State at 6, but ECU at 5th with 3 weeks left in the regular season. This is a pretty loud statement by the Pirate baseball team.
It is, and it shows the job they've done this year. I mean, you're 35-8 overall right now, and one of I wouldn't say few teams with more than 30 wins, but you're one of the select teams that have more than 30 wins right now. And I think one of the biggest things, too, when you look at where East Carolina is one of those goals for Cliff Godwin every single year is win 40 games. Well, East Carolina has a chance to do that in the next 2 weeks with still a week left in the regular season. And so that shows a lot on how well they've done. And, this team easily could have 40 wins right now when you look back on the season, how many one-run losses you've had, the 2-run losses too. And so this team has played really good baseball throughout the year. And the one thing now with how well they're hitting the ball, and, of course, depending on what happens with the pitching here, they're playing their best baseball at the right time.
No doubt it is crazy that still, with 8 losses, they have been by a combined 10 runs. 6 one-run losses, 2 two-run losses. They have not had a loss more than 2 runs all season. And if they haven't won, they have been right in every game, basically a swing away every time. So the Pirates just having a phenomenal year, 35-8. Again, the pitching stuff is I would say a big deal because, look, if this team wants to go into the postseason as far as they can go, you're going to need Zach Root and Wyatt Lunsford-Shinkman. So we'll get more into that later in the show with Cliff Godwin, and then Scott and I will kind of talk about the answers we got from Cliff, Wes, Carter Cunningham about it as well when he stops by. Chuck wants to know, what have you guys heard on the status of our pitching? Chuck, again, we'll have that shortly with Cliff. And then, just kind of as a preview, you're not going to be able to get a full answer on like an injury to Jake Hunter until he gets some testing done, some imaging, and figured out what the exact scenario is. But I know that was tough to watch on TV, Scooter. I'm sure it was pretty tough to see in person with Jake. I don't know if you heard anything on the way back, but, highly unfortunate situation there.
It was, and, I didn't really notice anything live when he threw the pitch, but going back and watching the replay of it, you can clearly tell he was in pain after he threw that pitch. And, it's unfortunate, but, it happens sometimes. And, with what we saw after that, when he had to come out with Chris Kaler stepping up, some guys are going to have to do that the rest of the year. But to answer your question, haven't heard much about the injury overall. And, you hope for the best, and maybe it's something where, you can rest for a couple of weeks and bring them back for the postseason. But certainly anytime you get something involved with your elbow, it's normally a pretty lengthy injury.
No doubt. We'll continue to keep you updated there. All right, let's get our first break in. We'll come back. We'll visit with Cliff Godwin again, and then welcome Carter Cunningham into the show a little bit later. Again, we're live on YouTube, Facebook. Give us a like, subscribe there to follow us all week long here on Hoist the Colors 94.3 The Game. We'll be right back. This is HTC on a Monday.
New Toyotas, 0 down, and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas, $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease, you own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Dum-dum-dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you money.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and I go. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
Pirate baseball on the proverbial roll. How about them Pirates, baby?
How about them Pirates, baby? Cliff Godwin from many years ago. There he is with us here, Coach Godwin, with Stephen Igo and myself, and it's great to have Coach with us here. Another tremendous week, Coach, and I was just commenting to Stephen a minute ago. Boy, it feels like the NC State game was a month ago, but it was one of those last week, and what an environment that was. For your team to play in before the home crowd, a record crowd announced at over 6,000. Regional, super regional-like atmosphere, wild game, and a lot of fun. And the return of Jacob Starling in that one, that might have been one of the great individual performances in Pirate history. So let's start talking about the game with the Pack before we roll into the weekend sweep at Memphis.
It does feel like a while ago, but it was an awesome environment. Our fans were great. We love it. We love to play at home when there's over 6,000 fans there, and they were tremendous. I thought our guys really played well on the pitching side of things. I thought, Richie got us off to a good start. Danny got us out of a jam. And then the guys behind him, Norby and Groller, did a really good job. And offensively, we were able to just continue to tack on runs. And, of course, Starr had a huge night. And so happy for him, just because you can imagine how frustrating it is for a senior to be injured when, he really hasn't missed a lot of time at East Carolina because of injury. He broke his leg in the summer after his, freshman year here. And that took him some time to get back. But he's never really missed an extended amount of time at East Carolina from playing. And I'm just so happy because he's worked his tail off with Logan Rupp, now our athletic trainer, and Kevin Youngs to just get back on the field.
Go ahead, Igo.
Hitting for the cycle, Coach, such a prestigious honor, and it's been 14 years since another ECU player has done it. So, pretty awesome moment. But the return of Starr, just in general, it seems to lengthen the lineup so much. And I know Colby Wallace did a great job filling in. But can you just talk about how much it maybe lengthens the lineup with his at-bats from day to day when he's in the middle of that order?
Well, I saw some chatter. It always makes me laugh, when people are like, he just inserted him right into the 4-hole. Well, that's where he was before he got hurt. And he actually, I think, has swung the bat better because he slowed the game down after the injury, and probably sitting back and watching helped as well. But I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea he was even close to the cycle because I was so entrenched into the game. And he actually wasn't running great towards like the 5th, 6th inning. And we had already had conversations about when we needed to get him out of the game. And so I'm just thankful that we didn't take him out before he hit the cycle. But it was close there that we were going to take him out of the game and put somebody else in there just because he wasn't moving as well at the end of the game.
Going 4-0, Coach, obviously not easy, especially when two of your top arms, are unavailable. Give us an update on Zach Root, Wyatt Lunsford, Shinkman. Could they have pitched this week, and kind of what went into not throwing those guys in the 4-0 week?
No, they couldn't have pitched this week. They're feeling better, but two different things, kind of. I won't go into specifics, but they're both dealing with some arm soreness. But as you guys know, their careers are way more important than us winning a baseball game. But they're getting all the treatment, physical therapy this week. Us having no midweek game is going to be a huge boost in our arm, so to speak, to let our position players get their feet back underneath them, especially Starr and Riley Johnson, and even JC. I think he's so big that the season wears on his body as well. So getting them off their feet for a couple of days and then letting our pitching rest for a couple of days is going to be key. So Monday and Tuesday, we won't even practice. We'll just lift weights, and they'll do a lot of treatments, and then we'll get back on the field on Wednesday and practice Wednesday and Thursday.
Coach, with Shink and Root, is it kind of a maintenance deal, the best way to term it, or is there any concern that they might, have a longer term deal, or is it more maintenance at this point?
I'm not a doctor,
yeah.
So at this point, we feel okay about them coming back this year. For me to say 100%, I couldn't tell you that. So we're taking it day by day, but those guys will be seen by the best here and evaluated at a higher level since we're back at home and not on the road, and we'll continue to help them. But like I said, it's day to day.
And then I've gotten a lot of questions about Jake Hunter, obviously, too, leaving yesterday's game. Can you just provide an update there, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you see that as a coach of one of our players, it's, scary. The fans, scary for them too. And, I've had a few conversations with Jake after the game. And the thing that comes to mind with me, and everybody thinks the worst, and it could be the worst. I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball. But, Gavin Williams in 2018, he's throwing 100 miles an hour in Durham. And he's doing it while he's slide stepping. And I think he threw like his 35th, 36th pitch of the outing, and I think it was a ground ball, and he walked off the field crying, holding his arm. Well, of course, my mind went straight to, okay, he's just torn his UCL. But it was a flexor strain, and he was able to come back a month or 5 weeks later, and actually aggravated him again at some point in time that season. So we're going to pray for the best. Obviously, I can't see Jake I don't think he will be able to pick up a baseball this week, and but we'll be getting him seen with our doctors and imaging and all that good stuff, and we'll be right there with him regardless of the outcome.
Pirate head coach Cliff Godwin is with us. Nice bounce back weekend for Danny Beal, who continues to be a stalwart for you out of the pen.
Yeah, Danny was tremendous on Saturday. We knew Groller couldn't go, too long after throwing 2 innings on Tuesday against State to close out the game. And then Danny was just tremendous for 6 innings, I think it was, and only gave up a solo homer. Of course, with Root and Shink not being available, it lengthened our bullpen as far as, yesterday we could go to several different guys that hadn't been used yet. So that was a good thing.
And Chris Kaler was one of those guys, really looked at times he's had some pretty electric outings. Looked really good for you this weekend.
He was really good yesterday, really good. I think he went 4 innings, somewhere around there, and gave up, a solo home run, which by that time our offense had, extended the lead. So that was really good. And, I didn't think we were very good offensively at the beginning of the game. I thought their guy did a good job against us. Of course, we had to overcome a call of obstruction or whatever you want to call it with Bristol that cost us a run. But at the end of the day, our guys made their own breaks and were able to come out with a sweep with 2 of our best arms down, which is really impressive. And I told them how proud of the pitching staff I was this weekend of just next man up mentality. And nobody's going to feel sorry for East Carolina Pirates, I can tell you, with a couple of injuries, because they all want to beat us. But our guys did a great job.
Before we get into maybe some of the individual numbers offensively, and Igo starts peppering you with the probing questions as he's apt to do, the thing, just on the whole, the defense this year, I mean, there's been some spectacular plays and some great individual efforts, but, just the emphasis that's been put on defense when you ask pitchers or even guys that play behind the pitchers about it, they're very quick to talk about Coach Palumbo and all the coaches and how much that is worked on. So, it's until something is committed like an error or something, nobody ever really thinks about it. But I mean, a lot of work has gone into guys improving, but also that defense being as solid as it's been this season.
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl when, you're not good defensively, because you can control that. You feel like pitching and defense is something that you can control on most days. I mean, it's more of an offensive game now than it was 10 years ago, but Jeff has put together great defensive teams his entire, career here at East Carolina, but we all take pride in it. Even Coach Knight, Coach Lartigue, everybody on our staff, because we know we can always, handle that. I think Joey Barini has played spectacular at shortstop, maybe even a tick better than I thought he would ever be able to do. And some of the plays he's been able to make, a lot of the credit goes to Coach Palumbo, but Dixon Williams at third base or second, Star, of course, Carter Cunningham made some really good picks this weekend. Of course, J-Dub caught all weekend. Ryan fouled a ball off his foot, so we didn't think he could catch on Saturday, which he had a good offensive day. He just couldn't get back there and catch and back up first base and stuff. So, and then the outfield defense has been really good as well. Bristol Carter, Riley Johnson, JC, Nowak when he's out there. So really proud that our guys take pride in it, because defense does win championships. You're not always going to score 14 runs, and you got to be able to take care of the baseball and eliminate free 90s from the other team. And our guys, for the most part this year, have done a really good job of that.
Coach, 13-6 true road record now through 19 road games, just 3 road games left at Tulane later on. I think 7-1 in the last 8 road games. What do you feel like has gone into the road success for you guys this year?
I just think our guys have been really mature about their business. And we talk about playing for a championship every day, because you are in some capacity, whether we're playing a midweek game or not, to reach the goals we want to reach. You have to play your best brand of baseball every single day. I mean, you guys look across the country, and if you play bad, you're going to get beat. And sometimes when you play good, you get beat when you play good teams. So you have to go out there and play and perform at a high level and execute what you're trying to execute. And our guys have had a lot of focus, and there's not been many days when they didn't look like they were mentally engaged in what we were doing that day.
Trey Savage, Cliff, I don't know what more we can say about him at this point. He almost throws another shortened 7-inning no-hitter, obviously 1 out away. And just what did you see from Trey in Memphis on Friday night?
Well, we really didn't want to run him back out there. We were going to keep him, I think it was at 85 pitches before the 7th inning. And AK goes down to talk to him, and he said, Trey won't let me take him out of the game. I said, well, all right, well, if he gives up a hit, we're taking him out of the game. And, of course, he walked a guy in that inning, and I think it was I can't remember who the kid was. It wasn't Compton. It was a right-handed batter, but he's like fouling off pitches. And then AK was just trying to get a first pitch out, throwing a fastball to the guy that ended up getting the hit. And I go to the mound to take him out, and he's like, Coach, I got this. I said, I know you got it, but you're coming out of the game, so we're going to somebody else because you're over 100 pitches tonight. So, which we kind of laughed about. I said, there'll be a time when I'll leave you out here, but not today. So, we went to D-Lo, and D-Lo was able to secure the shutout, which was awesome.
I feel like Justin Wilcox and coach has kind of quietly put together just a really solid year. Obviously surging offensively, but defensively has looked more like his old self. He's got double-digit home runs now. Had a big homer yesterday. What have you seen from Justin these last few weeks?
And J-Dub's just steady Eddie, man, almost to a fault, man. He's the same guy every day. He's been much better of looking mentally alert, even when he's caught all weekend. JC made kind of a joke, but a compliment of, hey, you caught all 3 games this weekend. Great job. And J-Dub looked at him and was like, I did that a lot last year, so that's not a big deal. But he just is very professional about the way he goes about his business, and him and Starling have a really unique relationship where they, joke with one another, which keeps them loose before games and stuff. So he's just stayed the course. He didn't start out the way he wanted to offensively at the beginning of the year, and he's just kept doing what he's doing. And Coach Lartigue and Pack have worked with him and fine-tuning some things, but we felt confidently that he would do this, because he's a very good player, and I'm just excited that his hard work is paying off.
We're talking with Pirate baseball coach Cliff Godwin as ECU knocks off NC State last Tuesday, and then the weekend sweep at Memphis. 2 guys that their processes have led to their success, I have to imagine. On the overall career arch with Carter Cunningham, what a huge year he's having. The 2 home runs. Sunday now has a dozen, and he and Will Coxon, as Igo was asking you about, are the double-digit home run guys at this point. And then Dixon Williams, who was hitting the ball at people, it seemed like the beginning of the year, just wasn't getting any of those to go through. Now he's stuck with the process, and it's starting to show in productivity. So could you talk about that process, Cliff, and a little bit about that with those 2 guys in particular, Carter overarching, and then Dixon, in this season in particular?
Carter, it's about his faith. I mean, he gives all the credit to God, and he's playing a game that has pressure, like he's playing wiffle ball in the backyard. He doesn't make a strikeout bigger than what it is if he does strike out, which I think he struck out a couple of times this weekend, and he goes in there and puts together quality at bats. People are pitching him tough. Yesterday, the 2-run homer, I went back and looked on video, and of course, it's a 3-2 count. but I know that's not where that pitcher was trying to throw that pitch. I mean, because it was elevated and it was kind of down the middle, and Carter put a good swing on it and hit it out. But so proud of just his leadership and what he's meant to this team with the Bible studies and just the leadership that he provides with our team. He has earned all the success he's getting, and he's given all the glory to God, which is really cool. Dixon actually rooms with Carter on the road, which is intentional because, Dixon's going to be a leader in our program. He already is to a certain extent, and want him and Carter to have those conversations on the road. But Dixon puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's super competitive, and we've had to, just help him navigate the mental side of the game when you're lining out. Hey man, you're that's a good swing. You can't get down on yourself. You can't listen to these people that look at your batting average all the time. It's going to come around. The percentages say if you play a lot, that if you line out a lot, that's a good thing. And then there'll be some blue pits that fall. So, and he played awesome this weekend, not just offensively, but defensively, made some really good plays at third this weekend, and even at second base when we were able to get Starling out of the game early on Friday. So just proud of him of staying the course and not listening to all the outside naysayers when early in the season, maybe the production wasn't showing up on a stat sheet when all the coaches had a ton of confidence in him.
Henry Lartigue from family, obviously in Mississippi. I think a lot of them were there. Maybe he was on Twitter. You may have even reposted it that I saw, but that was pretty cool. You can't really understate what he's meant, and you've talked about it. His availability to the players and the ideas that he's brought. It just seems like this is also a big part of the reason offensively so many guys are having such tremendous success.
Well, I think he has a really good way about him. Henry is a really intelligent guy, but he's also got a lot of common sense and is able to relate to players. Of course, he played at a high level, was a switch hitter, caught at Ole Miss, and then played several years of professional baseball, made it up to AAA. Probably would have played in the big leagues if it wasn't for an injury. But he just has a really good calming presence about himself. It's a really good, probably good recipe for success with his calming presence. And then, sometimes I can be intense, not as intense as I was 10 years ago, but, him and I and Pac bounce ideas off one another, and it's a great working relationship. We talk about what our plan's going to be before the hitters meeting, and Henry and Pac do a really good job of presenting the information to our players. And then, like you said, he works with them a ton, and they have great relationships with him. So they love him, and that's the awesome thing about being a coach, man. When you're in the fight with them in the cages and stuff, and you just see that that minimal progression over time, and you look up one day and go, oh man, this guy's like so much better than he was 6 months ago. And that's really cool when Henry and Pac do a great job with our guys.
You mentioned Pac Bryant Packard. How have you seen him grow in this role as a coach?
I think Pac is, now starting to, hold guys accountable at a higher level. Pac always got his stuff done as a player, of course, but, he likes to joke. He's got a great personality. I said this to our team, but, Pac had a unique ability to be able to joke around with me, but also knowing when it wasn't the time to. So I love guys that have personality. I just don't like guys that are clowns. Clowns are distractions. And, Pac was never that. But I think he has been able to have some really individual conversations with a lot of our players, specifically Ryan McChrystal. I think Pac has probably helped him more than anybody else on our team, just navigating the mental side of the game, and then, of course, working with him on his swing.
Coach, rest is the order of the day for the week. There's academics too, so it's kind of a unique time, kind of comes at a good time too. If somebody's just joining us, kind of what is the game plan as a whole for the week?
Like I said, just getting their feet back underneath us today and tomorrow. They'll lift weights. They'll be focused on their exams, body recovery, eating, maintaining their weight, all that good stuff. And then we will practice on Wednesday, practice on Thursday, and then be ready for South Florida on Friday.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time as always. We really appreciate it, and best of luck getting through the week, and also in the South Florida series coming up. As you said, starts Friday with the 6 p.m. game against the Bulls. Cliff, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there's our interview with Cliff Godwin. So a couple things there as Scott Rogers producing today's program. We'll get his take on some of these. So Elizabeth Hodges on Facebook says, has he given an update on Jake Hunter just joining after being in a meeting at work? So basically the update on Jake was, they're going to do some testing. Obviously he will not pick up a baseball this week, but they won't really know for sure. Initial prognosis when you have an injury like that is you're going to miss at least a little bit of time, if not a lot, when it involves the elbow. So we'll see, but no official word yet. And then he also touched on Wyatt Lunsford, Shinkman, Zach Root, who did not pitch this week. Basically said that they were unavailable due to a variety of reasons, arm soreness, the central reason for both. We'll see how ECU approaches it going forward. With any arm soreness, you can't ever 100% guarantee somebody will be back. I know a lot of people have already started to freak out over these comments, which I get it. Look, Wyatt Lunsford, Shinkman, Zach Root are crucial pieces to this pitching staff, Scott. And ECU will need them back to go as far as they want to go. But we'll just have to see what the future holds. I think when Cliff says it's day-to-day, it truly is with arm soreness, because the last thing you want to do is push somebody back before they're ready and commit a setback in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we were talking about it when that video was playing, and, there's a difference whether it's forearm soreness or is it elbow soreness, whichever one it is. There's a big difference there. If it's more of the elbow, then it's probably going to be a little bit more time than forearm soreness, which you go back to last year, Trey Savage had that forearm soreness for a couple of weeks, and, they sat him down. I think it was 3 weeks. If I remember correctly, he was out, came back, and he was this team's best pitcher in the postseason. And so if it's somewhere in that forearm soreness, like I said, you sit him for 2 or 3 weeks, bring him back for the postseason, and hopefully have him ready to go.
No doubt. And we'll continue to follow it. And, I also don't think Cliff Godwin wants to put any unneeded pressure on the guys and say, hey, Root or Shinkman will be back this week, and then force them to come back when they don't need to. And the other thing, too, is if ECU continues to win games, you've got midweek off. You've got a series with South Florida, which, it isn't a great team. They're not bad, but certainly you could probably manage without those two guys again this weekend if needed. You're at a point where you can maybe be as careful as you want to be. Now, it gets a little trickier with a 5-game week on the horizon, and then at some point you got to start ideally ramping them back up for the conference tournament. But I do think, Scooter, they are at least a good point in the schedule where they can be a little cautious with these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when I thought one thing that Cliff Godwin said was that there's no reason to risk these guys' careers over this right now. You rest them, make sure everything is worked out before you bring them back, and just play it safe. And like you said, this team's still winning right now. You have the week off, which is going to help. You go into the weekend. If you sweep South Florida, you take 2 of 3, whichever it is, you're still feeling good about yourself, right? And so you're still feeling confident with the pitching that you have. But, like I said, play it safe. There's no reason to blow up these guys' arms, at this point in the season and ruin their careers to win 3 games this weekend.
No doubt. All right, let's get another break in. We'll come back. We'll be joined by ECU first baseman Carter Cunningham, who had a monster week for the Pirates with 3 home runs in Memphis. We'll get into that discussion and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, Newbern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Voice the Colors with Steve and Igo.
Drink up for me, Ozzy, yo-ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into Hoist the Colors on this Monday, April 29th edition of the program. We talked with Cliff Godwin earlier for our weekly sit-down. Now we have Carter Cunningham in studio on his way to visit the Children's Hospital. Nice to stop by for a quick segment here. And Carter, you guys coming off the road, man, another 4-0 week, road sweep. Congrats on the weekend, and welcome back into the show.
I appreciate it. It was definitely a good week, starting with NC State. The jungle, that was probably the best environment all year so far. Obviously, Carolina's was good, but NC State's was awesome, and obviously to get the sweep on the road at Memphis was huge for us.
No doubt, and I want to talk a lot about the road success you guys have had a little bit as well as we go through, Carter. But so you were telling me this morning, kind of an interesting deal with no midweek games, so maybe y'all can go a little harder with the team lift or whatnot. So what's kind of y'all's schedule like coming off a busy week but having some downtime?
Yeah, well, we're prioritizing our finals this week. We got to wrap up our finals, finish strong academically. But as far as the rest of the week goes, we're going to get a lift in. We already got a lift in this morning, and then tomorrow we're going to get a lift. Wednesday we'll probably do like an inter squad, so we can just continue to see live pitching and get reps. Thursday probably going to be a short practice, and then Friday back at it. But we need this week to recover, rest, and reload.
Yeah, I mean, 43 games into a season, you guys obviously have some wear and tear. We talked with Coach about, Rude and Shinkman dealing with some arm soreness, obviously the Jake Hunter situation. We'll wait and see what happens there. But how important is it to recover this week, mentally, physically, Carter?
Yeah, this week is really for us to prioritize our recovery and our rest. And, like you said, 43 games in, everybody's dinged up at this point of the season. So, this week is huge for us because down the stretch we're going to need every single guy available, and we already utilize our bench and our bullpen a lot, but this week is going to set us up for future success for sure.
Carter Cunningham in studio for a segment today with us here on Hoist the Colors. So we're recording this a little early. I don't know when they announced the Player of the Week, Carter, but I feel like you should be up for it. I think 9 of 16, 3 home runs, so pretty good week for you, and I know, look, the team success you talked about is more important than individual success, but pretty good week at the plate. So what was kind of working for you as you guys, went to Memphis and obviously beat State?
Yeah, I felt a little off against NC State. Like my timing was a little off. Nothing really in the swing, but as 43 games in, like you know when you're going well and when some things are off. And working with Coach Godwin and Coach Lartigue and Coach Packard, we were just kind of sort of refining and revising my timing, and I just made sure I was going to be on time for heaters this weekend, going into the weekend, and I was. But yesterday was more of like I thought we got off to a really slow start, so I was just trying to do everything in my power to get the team fired up, and don't really care if I was 0 for 5 yesterday. I was just we needed that sweep badly. It didn't really matter any individual statistics.
And looking at we watched the game on TV, not Saturday, of course, because it wasn't streamed. Yeah. But shout out to the guy who did stream from the stands.
Shout out to that guy.
I don't even know his name, but he did yeoman's work. It looked like it was just, the wind was carrying out the left field, left center. And you obviously homered both way or opposite way both times. So you can't just be like, let me just get the ball into the jet stream. It's not that easy. But, is that part of the approach at all if you're trying to go the other ways, or just a matter of you're just trying to stay inside the baseball there?
Both.
Yeah.
If you stay inside the baseball and take a short swing and backspin into left field, it will go. And the first base umpire yesterday was like, did you get that first one? I was like, no, but I knew I backspun it to left, and it had a chance. And that's really – against Memphis's pitchers, they were a lot of righties that 88, 90 with good changeups. So our approach was to kind of see it deep and not get beat out in front. So it played perfectly into our approach. And Coach Packard and Lartigue and Godwin, they put together that approach. And I thought the guys followed it all weekend long, really. And we put up 2 touchdowns a couple times.
No doubt. Not easy to do, no matter who you're facing. And I don't think it's easy, Carter, to keep that momentum and success all 3 games, because I look at it from Memphis' side, like, y'all punched them in the mouth. They want to answer, and they obviously approached Sunday's game that way. Listen to their head coach after both games, Friday and Saturday. He was pretty ticked off. So you knew they were going to come back, but y'all again answered them. How hard is it to maybe sustain that momentum throughout the entire weekend when the other team is trying to win too?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when a team plays us, they're looking for one win, just to spoil that weekend for us. And that plays right into our motto, discipline equals freedom. I think it takes discipline to be locked in every single game and really not give away any games. I thought it was I think it was Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday where there was kind of the middle innings. We kind of gave away some at-bats, and we had a chance on Saturday to put away the game and mercy rule them, and we didn't. So it's little things like that you got to continue to progress on and get better at, and be locked in every single pitch, because you don't know what pitch is going to win or lose the ball game or save our bullpen down the road. Like, every single pitch matters, and that's what we were trying to emphasize to the team. But you got to be ready for everybody to play their best game against us, for sure.
I don't know the number of consecutive midweek wins at this point, Carter, going back to the state game, but it's a lot. And I know y'all didn't maybe start the season the best in that regard, nor last year. I think it was around 500. So what has changed in the midweek to allow y'all to have so much success there?
I'm laughing because I remember the first 2 to 3 midweeks we didn't play great, and our fans were just like, same ECU team, we're never going to be good, midweek suck, we should cancel all the Tuesday games. Like, that was it's comical because the guys in the locker room know what we're capable of, and you look at all our losses, I think they're all by 1 run. I think South Louisiana was 2.
There's been 2 2-run losses, 8 losses, combined 10 runs.
Yeah, so it's like
6 1-run losses.
So you look at that, and as a player and as a leader, you're like, we're doing things the right way. Like, even if you lose that game by a run, and yeah, we've had some sloppy wins, we've had some sloppy losses. It's like you stick to what works, and you're gonna come out on top majority of the time. And so those early midweek losses, like by 1 run, we're doing the right things. And so, like I said, you stick to the process throughout the season, and good things will happen. But the midweek wins are huge for us, and especially to do it against in-state schools, that'll help get recruits too.
No doubt. A guy who had a big week as well, along with yourself, Carter, Dixon Williams, and we kind of talked about him early in the season. He was hitting the ball hard, just maybe not having the results. But it seems like he has never let it maybe get to his head. I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but get too frustrated with it early on, and now he's starting to find that result.
Yeah. He's my road roommate. So being able to kind of pick his brain on some things and see where he's at, because like you said earlier in the season, he definitely was hitting some balls hard right at people. And I think it would be easy for a young player to get really frustrated, but it's a testament to his mental strength and his focus and his discipline to not, because some of those are starting to fall. He's also starting to get some like bloop hits every now and then, and he's getting rewarded for maybe his lineouts early in the year. But he's done a great job at just sticking to his process, and it's starting to pay off for him.
How about the return of Jacob Starlin hitting for the cycle? That's a pretty good way to return, right?
Yeah, that was incredible. He said he didn't know like he hit for the cycle.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, you're a liar. You definitely knew.
That's what I said as well.
But no, that was insane. And then I think Friday, Saturday he homers. So all three games back he homers, and yeah, what a huge help to have him back in the lineup.
And I was talking with Cliff earlier. It feels like, not that Colby Wallace didn't do a really good job, which he did, but like it lengthens the lineup so much when he's in the middle, Carter. It just feels like there's no easy out if you're an opponent right now.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend was like just sitting in the dugout watching our hitters. It was like, where's the weak spot? Like who do you pitch around, or who do you not go after? And the answer is nobody, because there's protection up and down the lineup, and it's just really fun when watching our hitters in the box, and when our offense can get going, and our 2-out ability to like nobody on base, 2 outs, and we'll put up a 7 spot. It's fun. 2
out and 2 strike hitting. I mean, you look at the numbers, Carter. Y'all have only struck out 248 times this year. Opponents have struck out 467 times. So it's a pretty big disparity, and it just feels like as a team, when y'all get to 2 strikes, sometimes you're just going to get beat. It happens. Yeah. But is it a mentality thing where y'all just want to put the ball in play no matter what?
For sure. But it goes back to like the scouting reports that our coaches put on or give to us, and the approaches that they give us before we even walk up to the plate. We know sort of what to expect with 2 strikes. We're very aggressive without 2 strikes. Early in the count, we want to get our A swings off, and then when we get to 2 strikes, we're in compete mode. And I think we do a phenomenal job at just putting the ball in play and making their defense make plays, and it pays off majority of the time.
Carter Cunningham with us here on Hoist the Colors. So, again, you're about to stop by the Children's Hospital. Want to plug that again, homers that help every time you're on, because you're doing great work. And I know they're starting to get more notoriety, more interviews for you, Carter. So, continue to plug that. And, I saw some people, I think you did an article over the week, and some people have donated to that since then. So how can people give to the homers that help, which goes to the Children's Hospital here in town?
Yeah, there's a link. We actually started social media pages finally. Okay. That took a while. That's my fault.
You've been a little busy though. So.
Yeah, that's just not. It's also not my strong suit. So I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna go. But I got a huge help from. I gave the passwords and the accounts over to a girl named Nicole, and she's been a huge help. She's been running it for me. But you can donate through the links in that bio, or you can text homers to 51555. But while I'm on here, I wanted to say like a big shout out to a lot of people back home in Virginia. I know the Greenville community, you guys have been phenomenal, tremendous. I couldn't be more thankful. But there's been a lot of people back home reaching out to me, saying that they'll match my donations, and people have already donated. The Haymarket, just Northern Virginia, all of Virginia. Thank you guys. Thank you, Greenville, for continuing to support this amazing cause.
And 3 homer weeks, so you're down $75. I
think I'm at 300.
Gosh. Yep, 12 homers on the year. So you're costing yourself some money, but hey, it goes to a great cause.
Yeah, it's
for
all
sure.
Good. It's all good.
Yeah, we talked about it again earlier with Cliff. The injuries, obviously to Jake Hunter. How tough is it when you're, in the field and you see something like that happen? Unfortunately, part of the game. But as a teammate, what do you say or try to do in that moment for Jake?
Yeah, you just pray for him. In that moment, like you saw his reaction, and as soon as he lets go of the pitch, he lets out a scream, and you just got to be there for him and pray that everything goes well. I think I don't know if he's getting an X-ray, or I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
But hope to have him back soon. He's a huge piece of this team, but anytime an injury like that happens, you just pray for the guy.
The coach said, Root and Shinkman will kind of be day to day, it's kind of evaluation. But to go 4-0, without them, I think says a lot about you guys stepping up, and you might need to do it again going forward, at least for the near future. So is that a mentality thing as well? Just no matter who's down, we're gonna step up as a team.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Godwin mentioned in the post game meeting yesterday. He just said the sign of a great team is when guys do go down, somebody's there to step up. So you had guys like Chris Kaler, D'Lo, Eric Ritchie, Jaden Winter, Danny Beal did phenomenal. I'm sure I'm missing people, but I mean even Jake Hunter for his outing. Norby, Groller, really everybody did a great job this week in stepping up, and that's the mark of a great team.
35-8, 14-4 in the league. As you mentioned, exams week for East Carolina. Do you have any exams, or as a grad student, are you done?
I got one exam Wednesday. It's online, and then I think a presentation on Wednesday, and I'm done with school forever.
What do you have to present for your final presentation?
It's it's actually just it's on a chapter of leadership. It's called the chapter I have is about power, which I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know. We'll see. I still got to read the chapter, honestly. Sorry, Dr. Grubb.
And let's say you'll get it done. This is a good week to do it.
Yeah,
I got some time off, and but done with school forever. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I mean that's I was talking to some of the freshmen just now in the locker room, and I'm like, that's got to suck.
Yeah.
You guys have a couple more years of this, and I'm like, I will never, ever, ever go back to school.
Is this year 5 of college for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been in it a while. You're a veteran. So.
Yeah. 17th grade.
Yeah.
Wait, is that 17th?
17th grade. Yeah.
Yeah, 17th grade.
There we go. Well, last thing for you, man. Most important thing for you guys as a team, to keep this success going. Look, 8 in a row. Exams, of course, y'all have been dealing with, and we'll deal with this week. But going into South Florida coming in this weekend, what do you have to continue to do now that exams will be over with? Kind of focus on baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta, like I said earlier, we gotta prioritize our rest and recovery this week so that we're set up down the stretch. But we just got to keep on sticking to our process, and the discipline does equal freedom, because it's easy to get very bored with the process at this point in the season. You're 43 games in, and everybody's dinged up and tired, or whatever. But that's what's always separating ECU from other programs, and how we've been so consistent year after year after year, is that we don't stray away from the things that we know works. So we got to continue to do that and do the things that work, take care of our bodies, and just be locked in and focused every single pitch.
He is Carter Cunningham. Carter, we appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll get you out of here on the way to the hospital. Appreciate it as always, and best of luck on your presentation, exams, and we'll see you at Clark LeClaire this weekend.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
He's Carter Cunningham. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show. This is Hoist the Colors.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Inner Banks Media and 107.9 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Inner Banks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time! Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
All right, welcome back into Hoist the Colors. Time to wrap up the show. Thanks to Scott Rogers for producing today. Philip Pilkington off with family obligations for at least the next couple of days. Scott will be with us behind the glass. We'll continue to get his take on many things. Casey Ravelli tomorrow. Joe Sampson on Wednesday. We'll also have Savone Rebel later in this week as well. This has been Hoist the Colors. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 12 noon.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 943 The Game.